Good day, everyone. So we are here again to talk about the different structure of groups specifically. So we're going to talk about the structure of groups, specifically their relations. So here we're going to discuss on social network analysis, network dynamics, and the application of the SIMLog. Right? So if you can see who is connected to whom, it's creating spatial maps of groups based on structure. So sa social network analysis, we're looking on who is connected to whom, right? So when people are together and they're having their own connectivity, it's a relatively flat group. Why? Everyone is distributed fairly. What if we try to remove these ties? Then they become cliques, right? So we have clique 1, ito, and you have clique 2. They're considered clique because they are a group of people who goes together, right? So they are only linked by maybe one person that they know, but eventually this one has his own group and the other would have their own group. Kaya ang tawag sa kanila ay mga clique. So another concept that we have to look into in social networking is yung ating centralized at saka decentralized subgroup. So if you're going to look onto the first group, ito, tsaka yan, you would have to look into centralized. So when you say centralized, everyone is spread out to the entire subgroups. So ito ngayon ang they are able to be connected with this individual and this individual connects with them as an entirety. Itong isa naman, because they are not able to realize or to know one another, kinoconsider sila as part of the decentralized group. So si group A, centralized, everyone would have the feature. Itong isa naman, they would be able to be interconnected through number 2 but not with each other. Right? So they are decentralized. Then we have the network dynamics, the status of networks. This is the stable pattern of variation in authority and power. So if you're going to check on this, meron kang head in the organization, then you have your subheads, right? Kaya yung iyong dots is broken because this person is not under this person, right? Magka-level sila. And under this individual, andito yung iba't ibang mga tao niya. Ito yung kanina sa example na design natin. These are pseudonyms of people. These are the people under him. Ito naman, meron siyang subgroups that the subgroup is not directly related to these individuals. So, itong grupo na ito ay hindi kasama or hindi sila under dito. But they are under this individual, under this group naman. So, they are not merged into a group but rather into division. So, young members, disabled and injured, and malingerers, they have their own levels of groupings also through which they do not interact with one another. Right? So, they would have the structure through which this is the leader and you have in the office later, ito yung mga supervisors mo and supervisors, and under that, you have your own different groups of people. So, ganun ang network dynamics when you talk about status networks. Right? So, we have another example, informal, or what we call as actual. Tapos yung mandated structure natin. Ito siya. When you call about formal group, so alam mo yung pattern. Downward siya. So, from the boss, you have supervisors, you have managers, it goes downward. Pag kinonsider mo naman siya as informal group or unofficial structure, kita niyo yung arrow niya kung saan-saan ang direction. So, ang nangyari dyan is that hindi formal yung organization niya, hindi formal yung structure niya, anyone can be anyone in the group. So, you have your informal status, structure, at saka yung mandated or yung tinatawag nating formal structure in groupings. So, aside from that, meron din tayo tinatawag na attraction network, right? We call it as a social network structure. Stable patterns of liking and disliking, right? So, if you're going to look onto the status, based on the status, number 1, number 3, so they have their own ranking in the environment. So, si number 1 would only relate with number 3 or with number 7 or number 2 and all those. While in fact, dun sa attraction, ang nangyari, they could interact with anyone. Right? Dito meron siyang specific status procedurals. Kanino lang siya magkakaroon ng interaction, liking and disliking. So si Juan lahat gusto niya, so he would interact with them. Sa attraction naman, they would choose who is who that they would attract to. Right? There is also the theory of Hyder's balance. Like and dislikes are supposed to be balanced. Like this one, lahat yan may affirmative, gusto niya. Pero, but there are times to which meron ka ring negative relations doon sa isang kasama mo sa grupo. So, hindi naman pwedeng laging naging positive na lang. Or, there are times to which nakakaroon ng negative that would elicit another negative feelings with you. That would entail balance of what you have and what you dislike. Right? Ang magiging impact niya sa grupo mo kasi is that you would be able to come out with the idea on what is the problem that should be fixed and what is already good that should be improved. So, may balance sila. Okay? Then you have your communication network. When you talk about attraction, you are just communicating with a certain group of people. Okay lang. That will be formal and informal path. Well, in fact, when you talk about communication, it is a multi-directional frequency through which it could go to any direction that would be able to receive the messages. Okay? Your communication can be centralized or decentralized. Again, pag centralized, everyone would get the message. Right? Pag decentralized, then pwede siyang maputol or magkaroon ng breakage pag flow ng message. Then we have the different types of network structures which are more effective than others depending on the type of task being attempted. Number one, you consider information saturation. Centralized networks are most efficient unless information overload is present. So, they'll be able to saturate the information. Yung kailangan information na ang ginagamit sa isang work environment. If the information is no longer necessary, pwede mo siya i-saturate and you will be able to remove those kinds of information so that you would not be able to experience information overload. Right? Another is influence and satisfaction. Members who occupy more central position are more influential and satisfied. So if the person has a central position, mas marami siyang connection. Mas marami siyang influence na pwede niya magamit and at the same time would be able to generate satisfaction. Bakit? Because he would be able to utilize those connections to satisfy all the needs. Doon siya kumukuha, baka kasi may influence siya. Right? And the last one, you have hierarchical network and information flow. More information flows downward and unrealistically positive information would flow upward. So, kadalasan, yung information natin, pababa. Right? Once that we are in the position, the information will always go down. Right? Ang nangyari lang, nagkakaroon ng unrealistically positive information for which it may flow upward. Yung mga balita na unrealistic, although it's positive, ang flow naman is pabalik doon sa mga boss mo. Now, you also have there the application of the SIMLog, systematic multiple level observation in groups. Usually, you'll be able to come out with ideas of dominance or submissiveness. This is the member activity, whether they're outgoing and talkative or passive, quiet or introverted. Right? Typically, once the person is dominant, it goes upward. When submissive, it goes downward. Right? Also, you have to consider yung friendliness at saka yung unfriendliness. Member would be warm, open, and positive. Friendliness is positive and friendliness is negative. Alam naman po natin yan that when we are warm and we are positive, so yun ang positive. Right? Then you also have acceptance and non-acceptance of task-oriented authority. Baka mamaya, ang hinahanap nung is relation-oriented. So, once that you are able to join a certain group and you would be into a task-oriented environment, nagkakaroon dyan ng concept of acceptance or non-acceptance. It may be member analytic and task-oriented, or it may become emotional, yung mga non-traditional. They become resentful. You move forward if you are able to have accepted the task orientation of the authority, you go forward. Progressive ang dating mo. Pag non-acceptance siya, it goes backward. Kasi inyong observation mo dun sa environment na ginagawa. You have to consider the trait, right? The trait, the general behavior, and the individuals in the organizational value. So, sociable, it goes up. Outgoing, sociable, extroverted, usually they become popular in mean they have social success, they may be like ordinary, right? If a person is persuasive, upward, forward, and persuasive, he convinces people a lot, they show task leadership, yan madalas they are active, they have active team of thought towards common goals at saka yung organizational unity. Kasi they tend to persuade people. Magaling silang mag-convince. Alam mo yung napapaniwala mo ang isang grupo that they could do it. Then you also have warm, protects others, they're sympathetic, nurturing. They want talagang alagaan ka na they would want to improve as an organization. They would protect less able members. They provide help when needed. Right? Then you also have your equalitarian, friendly, democratic, group-oriented. They would focus on equality, democratic participation, decision making. So, pag equalitarian ang sinamahan mo, ang structure ninyo is everyone should give a part in their decision making. Right? Then there's also cooperative. They may be cooperative, again, reasonable, constructive. They are responsible, idealism, and collaborative work. Right? Now, you also have people who are task-oriented. Pag task-oriented yan, they're serious, logical, and objective. Let's work and let's work. Walang ibang business. It's plainly we have to work. Right? They tend to become conservative. They're established. It's always on the correct ways of doing things. Kasi nga, task-oriented. Right? Then you also have responsible, modest, respect, dedicated. The dedication is there. You're also faithful, loyal to the organization, and they're able to, yung sinasabi mo nga talaga, they're accountable to everything they do. Right? Then there are some traits that is considered to be contented. Yeah. It's downward. Right? It's downward and backward. Kasi ang concept ko dyan, they're quietly contented, satisfied, and concerned. Right? They're really contented. They're quiet. They will take it easy. Okay na siya. Right? And the last one, you have silent. Typically, sa structure, si silent, they would tend to become passive and uninvolved. Right? Hindi yung tahimik siya, but they have the trait or the direction of being silent. They give up personal needs and desires, and they would have passivity. Wala siyang, hindi siya interested, wala siyang right? So once that we are able to observe, dyan ngayon papasok yung tinatawag. Right? So, yun po ang ating mga needs, relations, and I suppose, katulad naman na nag-discuss na po natin ang norms, ang roles, at saka ang relations natin. So, consider the nature of social norms, the importance of norms, structure of social roles, role theories, group socialization, role stress, and tapos yung diniscuss po natin yung araw na to, relations, social network analysis, network dynamics, and application, right, of the system.
So that's all we got. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig and for joining me here in my little lecture. So if you have any questions, feel free to write it down on our comment, and I will be able to answer it as soon as I will be able to read it. So maraming salamat again. God bless and stay safe.